Hi, so the next aspect I want to talk to you about is having your colors arranged not only by uh, analogous colors, saying all my yellows over here, these kind of pinky, orangey colors, and orange, to something that's more neutral, moving towards red, to all my reds, going from light to dark, and then moving into my purples, my blues, my cyan, and then my greens arranged in it. What makes this helpful is by having this, you can then make decisions based on the tone of the object. So you'll notice in through here, there's a yellow area, and it's not completely light yellow. It's not like the highlight there. So what I can do is move in and grab some analogous colors to that. So I can use this yellow. And as I'm shading this, I would be able to shade that in as one layer. Notice that there seems to be just, it seems to be an orangey, kind of with a little bit of red, but I can also see a little bit of green, which is great. For the three color rule that we're going to talk about, I know that I could use this color. I also know that it's not too dark, so I can use a lighter green. And you see how there's just a hint of that? And then I could also use some red. The green and red are going to make it brown, keep it from being too neutral. And I can move to a lighter red. So by using something, a pink is a red. By using these lighter colors in this area, I can then effectively shade this. And so it's a red apple, so I can layer a color of red down. And I'll move the light so you can see it a little bit clearer. So there's my red. And I want to leave just a little bit of the paper there. And then I can move in with some yellow to give it that nice yellowy shift. This is a very warm yellow as opposed to the other two, a cool yellow, a mid yellow, and a warm yellow. And so now I can mix that and get a little bit of that orange in there, mixed orange. And the little bit of blue in through here is going to neutralize out that what is kind of this orangey brown. It's also going to, the yellow in it is going to keep it in the warm family. And so just a little bit, and I'll have a color that starts kind of matching more in through here. For anything darker, as we move to this side of it, you can see that it's darker. That's, remember, first question is how dark or light is it? Then what color is it? And it's red. And then is it saturate or neutral? And it's more saturate here and a little more neutral right there. And that's because white paper is reflecting onto it. So now I know that I can go a little darker with my pencils. And create something a little more similar. So I'll move to something that's like a medium red. It's a darker pencil, and it's going to get darker as I work on it. So I know that it's red in through here, still keeps some vibrancy. So I can use red. I can use an analogous color like purple. So let me get a little purple in through here, and it's a little darker. So you can see how just a little of this is going to make it darker. And then I can go for something else that's analogous, like a little bit of orange. So I'll grab a little bit of orange, and now I can work on that color over here. So as I see that color, lightly sketch out that shape, and I can, put down one color. I like to put down the local color first. And you'll notice already it's kind of matching or a little darker than the yellow that I put in previously for the apple. So there's my red. A little bit of orange. You'll see it heating up a little bit where more colors showing up in there. And now this will take it down in tone. This has a lot of purple in it. It doesn't show up on the screen so much, but it's kind of this rich purple color. And now by moving into it, because it's analogous to red, it's on opposite orange on red, it'll keep that red effect because all three have red in them. But it'll move to a darker color. And you can kind of see there's some of that purple. I'll just put that in. And I'm drawing this shape right in through here, and it got a little lighter as it got down to the bottom. And I can always grab something, again, another mid-tone for red. They're very similar. This is just a cooler red as opposed to a warm red. You can kind of see the difference. This one has a little more yellow in it. This seems to have a sensation of purple in it. And so I can pull that in, and that's going to keep the saturation a little bit more. And so this is using analogous colors right before the edge of the apple in this area here. So now in this area here, I can kind of create this, I can use red, of course, because it's not as bright as this. So I'm using some red. And this is where a complement will get in. So I know that cyan, which is this color, this blue-green, is going to neutralize that color out quite a bit. And you can kind of see that this gray tone right here is kind of neutral, but you can also see that it has a little bit of purple to it. And it's really subtle. It's a gray. So I can use a little bit of cyan to it. You see how that neutralized that out to something very kind of similar. And then I can either move to one of my purple colors. I might do that. Or I could add a little bit more red to it. And a little touch of blue, which will make purple. Now, and so now I'm getting kind of the sensation of this, warm yellow area by using analogous. In this area I used yellow, orange, and red. In this one I used violet, red, and kind of a darker orange. And then in through here I used violet and a cyan and of course red. Notice that red is in all three of them because it's a red apple. The overall local color is red, so I want to stay in the red family. On this side of the thing you can see how dark it is. And notice that it's difficult to see the color, but it's not black. It almost appears black as we move down here. That's where mixing color complements. So by using your colors in a dark way, so I'm using a very dark purple, a very dark red, and if I use, say, something like a really dark green, that would do it. Or I could even add a really dark blue, which would, the green and blue would create cyan and neutralize it. So for these dark areas that I see here, I'm going to go ahead and put those in real quick so you can see how that sensation works. I'm using a really dark purple, and I'm going to move to my dark red because it's the local color of the object. And so I'm using the tone of the pencils to create the shapes that I see. And so you see, already can see how dark that is as I'm drawing this area through here. And now I can move into it with the dark blue. You see how dark that's getting, and now it's turned into a magenta color. The green, looking at my color wheel, the green and magenta neutralize. So this is going to kill that out, the purple quality, and make it just a nice dark value. This is called a chromatic dark. Chromatic dark meaning that there's only color used to make it dark. There's no use of black. And you can see the green color as I sketched up there. And you see how dark that is? So here I used magenta, green, and red to create that effect. So this is kind of a way that you can think of using colors to create tone. Remember, for all your colors, you're going to have warm greens, greens, and cool greens within your set. And you also want to organize them from light to dark. It makes it easier to find them. Although, of course, you get messy laying out all your pencils this way. And you have to move things back. But this is how, by keeping the simple method of using lighter colors to do lighter areas, mid-tones to do mid-tone areas, and dark colors to do dark areas, it'll save you a lot of time when you're trying to sketch things in.